Welcome to the show, guys. What is up? Welcome, Duke and Don. And as you guys know, as promised, we got Ayindei in the building. Ayindei, go ahead and say something.
What's up, people? How y'all doing?
And just so y'all know, we got Don in the building too, doing what he got to do best. Don, say what's up. What's up? What's up? So, you guys that have questions, all right, Don will be reading them. We'll be filtering them through the cam here, all right? So, just think about it. So, we're going to let some people in. Guys, today we're going to be talking about dating, okay? We're going to be talking about dating, and you're not just going to be hearing it from guys, okay? You're going to be hearing it from girls as well. It's going to be a balanced perspective, okay? So, before we go ahead and get started, why don't you ladies, we'll start with Jennifer, and then we'll go Jennifer, Morgan, Amanda, Crystal. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up, y'all? My name is Jennifer Sarbone. I am originally from New Jersey. I've lived in Miami for quite some time now, 26, transitioning from a personal trainer more so into a life coach. So I got asked to be on this call. I'm excited to give you whatever opinions you're looking for, and that's about it for me.
You guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Sorry. I want to apologize in advance. We're having power issues at my house. My power's been going on and off for an hour. So right now, my lights are out for a minute. My AC is out for a minute, but it'll come on in a minute. So bear with me. I'm sorry. My name is Morgan. I'm 24. I live here in Hollywood. I work in Miami. And I'm excited to be here. I just kind of I don't know. I'm ready to throw some opinions.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. Amanda, welcome to the stream.
Thank you. So, yeah, my name is Amanda. I'm 26 years old. I'm an influencer and I have my own swimsuit line. And yeah, I've lived in Miami for almost 2 years now.
All right. There's something in the background. Somebody's playing music in the background. You know what
I'm
that
at
is?
Starbucks. What kind of music do you hear?
Yeah,
I don't know. Who is that? Is that Jennifer? Is that you? Did we gotta meet you? Hold on.
I got my noise cancellation. I don't
Hold
know.
on.
Maybe.
Let me see real quick.
Let me see if I.
Yeah, it was Jennifer. Yep, that was her.
So I'm Crystal Faith, born and raised in Miami, Florida. Right now, I'm not doing anything too major, just waitressing, but I do make music. I dropped my first EP. I'm excited to be here with everybody tonight.
Perfect. We're excited to have you. So one thing on the menu today was going to be talking about dating. Okay. So, and we want to hear from the girls' experience too, not just the guys. I mean, some of the guys we already kind of know what's going on, but let's hear from your perspectives real quick, and we're gonna go down the line. All right. So far in dating, 2021, modern day dating, how is it? How do you guys feel about it? How's it working out for you? Like based off your experience, things like that. Anything you want to talk about? We'll go ahead and start with you, Crystal.
Well, I'm in Miami, so I think dating is pretty interesting. I would say that dating becomes a lot easier when you become more self-aware. So you have to be able to know what you will and won't accept, and you got to be very honest with yourself, because in Miami, people don't really say their true intentions. Sometimes you just got to keep people's actions. I just want to be with someone I have really good chemistry with, someone who helps bring out the best in me. Just someone who's a good match for me right now in my life. I'm not really looking for someone who's super financially secure, because I'm 24. I don't think anybody around my age range is really financially secure like that.
Right. That makes sense. So let's go. Because I want to double back to that. But let's go to Amanda right here real quick. So what are your current dating experiences right now? Not only from where you are, but in terms of just modern day dating as a whole. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm not dating anyone right now, but in my previous dating experiences, what is dating in Miami, honestly? It's there's no relationships. You're dating people, and it's they lead you to believe they want something, but then it's once you get too close, it's just no, they don't want anything serious.
So you're saying they try to insinuate or play the fact that they want a relationship or something more, but then it turns out to be. Can you go into detail with that? It's more like hookup culture, but people will get pretty deep with you,
like wanting you to like move in with them and everything, and then like once like you talk about a relationship, they'll be like, nah. It's like it's strange.
Wait, well, why? I don't get it. Why ask you to move in with them? Wait, time out.
Yeah.
That's like, if any, that's a commitment in itself.
Because you need half the rent. You need half the rent. That's why.
Wait. Do they make you do that when you do the movie? They try to do the whole 50-50 kind of thing going on? Is that what it is?
Well, no, I've never gotten like that deep with someone, but like people like discuss this like commitment type things. So then you think at that point like they want a commitment with you, and then they're like you talk about a relationship, and they're like,
wow.
no relationship. Yeah.
All right. I want to. Go ahead.
A roommate. So you're looking for a roommate. You know what I mean? Like.
Okay, let me ask a
Basically,
follow-up.
that's what I said. It's the rent.
Yeah, the little roommate thing, because I'm seeing that too.
You wanna hook up.
Like a friends with benefits.
Shit expensive, goddammit.
Yeah.
I come from New Jersey where it's like everyone's in a relationship and it's like very commitment oriented. Then I come to Miami and it's like not anything like it's just like all hook up.
Okay, that's an interesting point you brought up. Okay, so from New Jersey, and then if you're talking about the kind of guys that either girls are dealing with in New Jersey or you've dealt with in New Jersey, what are the differences between those kind of men and the men in Miami currently where you are at?
Okay, so the guys in Miami, it's more like masculine feminine. Like guys will be looking to like take care of you here. In New Jersey, it was more like equal, which like I mean I don't mind either way. It's like it's not a big deal. But like that's just like the difference from like there and here. And in New Jersey, it was more like you were looking for a commitment. Like if you were going like in New Jersey, if you go to like date someone for like more than like 2 or 3 dates and like then you just like ran off, it was like, oh, you played me. Here it's like you can be with someone for like 3 months just hooking up and it's like they'll just like go and it's like no big deal.
Wow. All right, let's get to Jennifer, dating experiences where you're at 2021. Let's go.
So this year, I am not dating anybody at all. But I've been traveling a lot and things like that, and I could definitely piggyback a little bit off of what Amanda said, because living in Miami for 2 years, yes, I feel like the culture, I'm not trying to be biased or anything like that, because you could be an amazing man and just so happen to live in Miami, but I do feel like the culture over there is very, very different, because men, or a lot of people in general, they're very pretentious. So they want to look good. And usually they'll just want a female that makes them look good. But they don't actually value that woman for who she really is. And now I'm not saying that's everybody, but the men that I have come across. And of course that comes with your paradigms, and that comes from, your childhood wounds. And that literally manifests into what man you're attracting in your life. But I found that a lot in Miami, it's a lot like, okay, what am I doing this weekend? What table am I buying? What am I wearing? What female do I have with me, right? And it's like, okay, cool. Let me tell this girl everything she wants to hear. And that by the time she actually wants to commit and give it her all, I don't want a relationship. It's crazy.
Wow. So a lot of guys out there, they basically, because let's just be real, it's kind of lying. You're lying. They're misrepresenting themselves, right? And at first saying that they want something, and then turns around, they're like, oh shit, well, this isn't what I want. So they're playing games. Okay.
Right. And I don't think it's intentional. I just think that maybe they think they want something, but then when they actually realize like the reality of what a relationship is, it's like, man, they don't want it because they don't really know themselves. So it's definitely a challenge over there. I'm not going to lie. But even just traveling and seeing different types of men, like even here in Dallas, like I don't think there's one good looking dude. So that's probably good. Yeah. But the guys here are like more respectable. They don't care as much about going out and things like that. Maybe I was just in a bad area, but yeah, that's why right now I'm just so focused on being whole, happy, and complete on my own, so that when that whole, happy, and complete person comes along, it's not a codependent thing. Like, yo, let's share this, let's pay rent together. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want any of that.
So what are you? Okay, let's say this: in your ideal guy, if you were to close your eyes real quick, all right, and you would think about, all right, if God were to send me a man right now, what would that ideal man be in that ideal relationship? All right, we're talking about ideal, not fantasy, ideal. Like that would work for you.
Ideal.
Yes.
Yes. So my beliefs have changed a lot during the years. It used to be, you know, you got to have muscles, you got to look like this and that. Yes, you got to take care of yourself. But what it really is to me is a vibe and an energy, right? You got to have that energy about you. If I sense that genuinity, you're authentic, you're not trying to be somebody else. Yes, you have to actually school because you have to know how money works, especially in this day and age. Like, you can't be a broke ass. I'm not going to curse or anything like that because you got to be smart enough, you know? So that's one thing. I'm getting a call, my bad. And then the other thing is, yeah, there has to be a physical attraction as well, but I'm not after, like, you have to look absolutely perfect now, because half the time, if you look perfect, you got a perfect 12-pack, you got nothing up here. Like, you need to stimulate me intellectually. Can we have a conversation? Can we flow and vibe together? Can we play together, but can we also talk business together, right?
Yeah.
So I don't mean to make this a long ass list, but you gotta be into the same things that I'm into. And yes, you have to be able to stimulate me and want to know me for me and not just my looks and what I could do for you. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. All right, so let's go to Crystal and then we'll do Amanda. All right, same thing. If you were your ideal guy, all right, if God were to say, Crystal, I'm about to bless you real quick. What you want? What do you want in an ideal relationship? What do you want in an ideal man? Go ahead.
So
there you go.
An ideal man for me is well, I was somebody who has like a leadership mindset, just because for me personally, I know that when I get into a relationship with somebody, I'm kind of like following their lead. More so just because I'm not really someone who likes to take charge unless it has to really deal with like things that are like more towards like my career, my passion. I'm just more so go with the flow. So I want to be able to trust you. Like, I know that if I follow you or I do what you say, or, you know, I'm following your lead, that it's not gonna lead me down a lot of trouble or anything like that.
Okay, let me ask a follow-up if you don't mind me asking. Okay, so is that, so when you're looking for that leadership in a man, is that something that, and I want you all young men out there, fresh or fit stands in the comment section right now, I want you to pay attention, all right? So when you're looking for that leadership, you're looking for, is it harder for you to, because I want to know how hard it is for you to trust someone with that, because you're basically submitting to someone's leadership, and that takes a lot. And what you just said, when you mentioned previously, you know, you don't want someone to lead you down, you know, a position where it could be detrimental to yourself. What experiences have you had in terms of locating that, either in the men you've dealt with currently or men that you've been with in the past? Well, if you don't mind answering that.
So like, I'm gonna give you like a good and a bad example.
Okay.
So like, you know, I did have like a relationship a long time ago. It wasn't the best relationship for me, and I was following his lead, but you know, because I was doing the things that he was doing, I wasn't like as healthy as I used to be. I wasn't drinking as much water as I was. Like, I wasn't doing as well in school. My focus just wasn't where it needed to be. And then on the other hand, I was messing with somebody who I felt like was a better option for me. And he was really on me about my schoolwork. I was always like, I was very much healthy. And it's not only that, but like, it's just like little cues. Like when he asked me out on a date, he already had things planned, you know? If I come to him with an issue, or if I was like frantic for whatever reason, like he always knew how to calm me down and always knew how to figure out a solution. Like, it was just really good for me.
That's good.
If I were to be in another relationship, I would want that, just because, you know, I feel like I'm putting my life in somebody else's hands. Because who you hang around is essentially who you become.
Okay. No, that makes sense. You're the sum of the people you hang around with. All right, Amanda, we're going to get to you. But it seems like Morgan, is everything working with everything?
Yeah, it took a couple of minutes, but I think I'm okay right now.
Perfect.
Morgan, Amber.
What was the question?
So Morgan, the question was the initial question, your current dating experiences right now dealing with guys in 2021. All right. Well, what does that look like? Has that looked like for you? And if you've changed states versus your hometown versus where you are right now, you go ahead and elaborate on that too.
Yeah, so I'm from Jersey, as well as Amanda. So it kind of reminded me when she said the guys in Miami are just different than the guys in New Jersey. Everyone in New Jersey is more conservative, and everyone in Miami is very like crazy and it's very like hookup culture. And I think our generation just has such a like disconnect because everything's available at our fingertips, you know? Like people are an option, people are disposable, and people will treat you that way and they have no shame about it. So for a while, I had my time wasted by just different people, and I kind of just gave up. I was like, love doesn't exist anymore. I don't think it, you know, it's just, it seems like today you have to make so many sacrifices to really make a relationship work. And if the two people don't want to put in the same amount of effort, it has to be a balance. And I think men have a hard time dealing with that these days because I just think everyone's so in denial about themselves and they're not willing to listen to other people's perspectives or what other people have to say. Like, I think men are just generally in denial, and it just makes me sad.
Dude, so if you want to mind elaborating on that, so what is it that, okay, actually this is perfect with the next question then. Close your eyes, right? If God were to say, Morgan, ask me for a man, I'm going to bring you one. Ask me for the right relationship, I shall deliver. What would that look like for you?
Well, it's funny because I actually just kind of received that, and the way that it feels to me is something so unique. I've never experienced anything like it. I literally feel like, and I don't know, girls are into this, guys think we're crazy, but I feel like I manifested the perfect person. It's literally myself as a male. Like, we're the same, we have the same interests in everything, we have the same lifestyle, we have the same, like, every single thing. So actually, I was on another podcast recently and they asked me the same thing because the last time I was on the show, I was single, and now I'm in a relationship for the first time in a while. And they were like, okay, so now that you're in a relationship, what does this guy have? And I was like, actually, everything on my list. Like, I've never seen it come to fruition like that. But
so what are the key, so I don't know how long that list would be, but like the key things that are like that stuck out to you about this man that said, hey, you know what, this is the guy for me, this is my other half. What were those, if you would name 3 aspects for this man, what are those things?
I could name so many more than 3, but it was definitely like intellectual conversation, like really, really deep. Like, I'm very open and very, very non-judgmental. So we would have these really deep talks. And if someone likes that and they want you to like dig deep into them and like uncover it, they can like really fall for you. So that is a really interesting thing to like get out of someone. He's like super, super spontaneous, like I am. We're both like extremely spontaneous and like jet set, like all the time, like travel plane, like running around doing crazy shit. Like, I don't know, his personality is very similar to mine. We can talk to anyone, get along with anyone, you know, like make friends anywhere, make conversation with anyone, very open, very honest. In terms of,
so you do appreciate guys that are open. Hold up, can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so you do appreciate guys who are open and honest, right? So because there's a running theory out there, right? And I want to get this from all the other girls too. Amanda, I still got that question for you. All right, we gonna figure out what your ideal relationship with.
Amanda,
go
turn
ahead.
your phone landscape. I'm telling her to turn her phone.
Is she mute? Oh, okay.
I have no idea. Amanda, can you hear me?
Oh, before we do that, go ahead. You guys can do that. Someone said it's nice seeing this format, and the ladies are not getting yelled at. Keep it up. Chaim Samuels, thank you very much. No, hey, look, man, I got time to yell at people. All right, it's just I want to know what's going on, because realistically, for a long time, we've been hearing one side. Well, you know, girls are this and girls are. It's almost like we're putting girls in blocks. You know, if you're a single mom, you belong this, and you're gonna act this way. If you're tall and you do this, you're gonna act this way. Or girls, all girls want this, or all girls want that. So what it's doing right now, it's poisoning a lot of dudes, like the fuck boys in Miami that they're talking about, which I'm maybe most of you who haven't been to Miami, or some of you guys who were just talking about it. It's that exact kind of mentality, because they're seeing basically this stuff play out and the messages being infectious. So we don't want to yell at anybody. We just want to have a conversation. What is it that the girls want in a relationship, and see if we can make this this thing easier to, you know, come together. As we're seeing now, as Morgan just said, men appreciate women. Some of, let's say some. We're not, everyone is different, right? But people appreciate men being open. All right. What's the counter theory to this? Oh, you got to keep yourself locked up. You got to do this. You got to do that. So it's good to hear that side, right? Most men may not agree, but it's good to hear that side.
When I'm like talking or dealing with somebody, like I like to learn off of you. I like to feed off your mind. So I want you to be open. I want you to be able to talk to me. We don't have to agree about everything, you know. Because realistically, if I'm going to be with you down the line, I'm going to get to know you eventually. So why don't we just show each other who we are now? Not saying that you have to show me everything, but like I think that it makes the relationship better when both parties are open.
So my ideal relationship or guy?
Both. We want to know both because the guy can bring something different to the relationship. It's a dynamic. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so my ideal guy, if I'm being 100% honest, someone with a good heart, because like I meet guys all the time with money and they have it all. They do. But they're just so shallow. The worst personalities like ever.
Can you dive into that?
They think that just by they just like they have no personality. They think that because they have money, at least the guys that I have met so far, they'll be like, oh, let me just buy you this or buy you that. And they think that just by buying you things that's going to make you happy. And I'm like, you could buy me anything that you want, but that's not going to make me happy. You being a nice person and being a genuine person is what's going to make me happy. Like, those are just things that could add on. So that's like a perk that adds on to the relationship. But if you're not a nice person, that's not going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can find any guy that has money. But it's really hard to find a genuine good person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
Those are hard things to find. So for me, my ideal guy is someone that is a genuine good person, and if he happens to have a stable income, then that's good. That's a perk, and that's great. And someone that I could vibe with and everything. Yeah.
So it's
I think it's really hard to find good people.
It's interesting you mentioned that, Amanda, because now I'm gonna ask the follow-up question, and I want the rest of the ladies to answer this. And all you guys listening, please pay attention to the answers. All right? Does the amount? Can you hear me, Amanda?
Up and I don't hear you.
All right. Does money matter? Like, does a guy have to be super rich, or would you rather have him just be stable?
It's so
go ahead. Anybody on the panel?
Money matters, but it's not everything.
Okay, so when you hear the stuff from all these other red pill guys, right? Because this is the counter that we're talking about. They talk about, girls only want to deal with guys who are six figures. Girls only want to deal with guys who are high status, high value. All right, and we just heard from Amanda, those guys are the most shallow motherfuckers that she's ever met. So I want to ask the rest of the ladies on this panel here: does money matter? Like, if a young man who's watching it right now, and obviously you guys are beautiful ladies, and says, you know what, I want to find me a girl like this because I'm listening to this conversation and they seem down to earth and genuine. Does money matter for me? Do I have to go be this Bill Gates mother dude, right? Do I have to try that? Go ahead, anyone on the panel.
Are you rooted in your purpose? Is the reason that you want to make a lot of money going towards something that you really care about, or are you just trying to make money to put on a front to the world to show off to a girl? Because if you have a lot of money but you're not rooted in who you are and you're coming at me, I don't want to date you. But let's say you have money, you're an entrepreneur. I'm very into that because I'm an entrepreneur, and you're deeply rooted in your purpose. That's different. Like, anyone can have a lot of money, but it's like, are you in your purpose? Are you genuine? You know what I mean? I think that's the difference for me.
Okay.
I think money definitely matters, but like not in the sense where they talk about it in red pill. In red pill, like, I don't know, from my understanding of what red pill is, red pill, they're only talking about 10%. They're talking about the people with the most money, the most beautiful women that want to be with you. Most regular people are not really trying to go after that. Money matters.
Yeah.
Because you have to be stable. Of course, she wants to go out on dates. Like, women, we like nice things. However, it's more so do what you can within your tax bracket. If you could take care of yourself, but you still have extra to go out with your girl, have a good time, blase, that is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like 6 figures, 6 feet, blah, 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 blah.
All the extra stuff. Okay. Stable could be, $50,000 a year in a pension, or $500,000 a year. So what is that? What is stable to a woman?
That depends on the city, though.
That's a lot to do
that's
with the
true.
city.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
You know,
Like, do you have a roof over your head? You have a decent closet.
Well,
you got food. Are
right.
you able to go out once a week or something like that?
I was just about to say that. You can't ask women questions like that. I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Majority of women, right? When you say, well, how much money does a guy need to make? You say that you're comfortable marrying him, right? You know what number they're gonna give you? They're gonna give you the number that they heard other women say, right? And that number is gonna be something like 100 grand, right? And then when you say to them, well, how many hours does he need to work to make 100 grand? They're not gonna have any idea how to answer that question. Then when you say, okay, well, how much money does he need to make per week to make that kind of money? They're not gonna have the fucking answer. Then you say, okay, well, how much does he need to make a month to make 100 grand a year? They're still not gonna know the answer. So the number to them it doesn't even matter. They're just blurting shit out. What it is that women want to be comfortable.
That's true.
Women want to be comfortable, and they want problems to be solved as they arise, and they want to be able to have things as they see other women have those things. So every time she opens up her Instagram, right? Every time she sees that this is the new trending this, and this is the new countertop that you need to have, and this is the new whatever, she wants to feel like she can have those things, because the moment she feels like she's going without those things, she feels like she might have made the wrong choice. So unfortunately, we're human beings, so a lot of how we perceive things is by comparison. So when dude pulls up in that big body Benz, well, that's the shit, until she meets a guy that has a private jet, right? Now that big body Benz is just cute. So you have to be real careful when you're trying to be specific, because as men, we use language to convey actual information, actual data, measurements. You see what I'm saying? When we're looking for parts, we're looking for the 4-inch centimeter. We're looking for this. We're looking for that. We're very specific. Women, it's just a matter of how they feel and how they interpret that experience. So when women are using language, they're not really focusing on detail. They're using language just to convey a feeling. So it feels good to be with a guy that makes 100 grand a year. They have no idea about the logistics. All they know is that guy has all the basic shit covered, and he also can do all the extravagant shit. That's why they throw out that number. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then on the back end, what they're not taking into consideration is how busy that guy's going to be, how much pressure he's going to be under, and how little time and attention he's going to have to give her, right? So you have all these variables moving around, and let's be realistic. The women that are saying that, did their dad make that kind of money? So they're not even familiar with the reality of that lifestyle. They're just reaching for what they see on a screen. So you have to be real careful with that, right? So now I'm listening to the women speak. I was quiet. I let the women speak. And all of the areas that they hit, I was going there anyway. But I'm going there more from a perspective of why? How do we get there? So I would say there's three main key, right, areas in how we get to where we are. Number one is the culture. That's just society in general, right? Number two, it's the family. What went on in the household, right? And then the last one is the individual. And all three of them are off kilter when it comes to dating. Now, let's think about this for a second. Dating is a new concept. When you look at it in comparison to the rest of human history, it is extremely in an infancy stage. It is newer than new. You can't get no newer than the concept of dating if you compare it to the rest of humanity. Right. So
do you mind diving into that a little bit? Because we gotta understand there's gonna be a lot of inexperienced dudes right now watching this. So we gotta make sure that because this is really to help them out. So yeah, if you don't mind diving into that.
See, I'm a history buff. No, anything that I get involved in, I try to start from the beginning. I try to start to the origin, and I work my way up to how we got there. If you're a hip hop fan, you're asking you to start in the late 70s, 78, 79. If you're a bodybuilding fan, you need to start in the 50s, right? And then you're going to get an understanding of how it got to where it is now, and you won't be so dazed and confused, right? So now let's talk about dating. The concept of dating didn't exist until late 60s, 70s. Up until then, we were courting women. We were courting women, right? Prior to that, the only thing that was available between men and women was two drastic extremes. Either men purchased sex from prostitutes, or they courted women and married them. That's it. There was no in between. So this dating thing is more about economy, and it's more about gross annual income than it is about relationships. Because if you think about it, dating is a useless concept. If the goal is a relationship, it's fucking useless. If you're talking about a relationship, relationships are to bring children into this world and to raise them in the best possible environment. Well, that's an extreme, and that extreme is marriage. So you either get married or you're not. What's the dating shit? What's the trying shoe on, wearing it around, then bringing it back to the store and saying, yeah, I don't want these shoes. It doesn't work that way, okay? You try the shoes on in the store, you buy them, and they're yours. And that's what courting was. Courting was you making that decision up front, you coming to a young lady's family, presenting your case, showing your character, and getting them to trust you with their daughter for a brief period of time that allowed the daughter to make a decision. Did she like you? Right? That's what courting was. Nowadays, the parents aren't involved. They don't even know who their daughter is going out with, or whatever the case may be. There's no approval process. There's no screening process. And there isn't that father and that mother that have that wisdom and experience to evaluate a guy. Now the daughter is just making these decisions based on what? Her young, naive, you see what I'm saying, feelings. So that's what I mean by culture, right? The culture is not teaching us how to interact with a common goal and an understanding, which is why, just like the young lady was saying, guys are coming in portraying themselves in one way, and then they turn out to be another way. It's not really so much the guys portray themselves away, it's that the guys didn't make a decision before approaching that female, and they're not going to be prone to, because number one, society doesn't request that, and number two, there's just way too many fucking options. Before it was, listen, you're either trying to marry or you're trying to smash.
And that makes sense, because go ahead. What I was going to say, because it makes sense of what Jennifer was saying, because you were saying, I don't know if it was Jennifer or Morgan, but one of you guys said that you don't think that these guys, with the whole thing, that they're trying to do it on purpose when they're trying to build up to something more and then they kind of drop off, that it was more. So that actually kind of goes into what you're saying, because what if these guys actually really don't know what it is that they want from these women, because this dating stuff got us all confused. So I was just wondering that, because that basically what she said before you even made your point, that made a lot of sense bringing it all together.
Right.
Go ahead.
There's just way too many options, right? So when you move past the masses, right, which is how we're dealing with this as a culture, right, then you get into the family. Now that is extremely problematic, because the people that pull the strings have had this conscious effort for decades to remove the father from the household. So now when the father's removed from the household, men don't even know what they should be pursuing and at what stage in their life. And then you have the females growing up without that male role model, so they have no idea what that even looks like. You get what I'm saying? So now, even if they were to have said guy, they wouldn't even know how to interpret those behaviors. A lot of women, they sometimes pair up with a guy that's a great leader, but they don't follow. They don't follow because they've never seen it. It's never been explained to them. They're not even aware that that's a thing. They're just like, I'm doing my thing, he's doing his thing. You understand what I'm saying? So they have no idea what the chemistry is supposed to be, what the dynamic is supposed to be. So they couldn't even really follow if they wanted to, because they just don't have that skill set. Just like a lot of women have masculine traits, they don't even realize it, because they had no idea that there was even this separation of labor. They didn't even realize that, hey, listen, we're working as a team, so we have to have a division of labor in order to get all these things done. Some of them have to be delegated this way, other ones have to be delegated this way. They had no fucking idea, because the society is not teaching or showing them that. Then the household didn't teach or show them that. And then as an individual, they're associating with people their age who also don't know shit. So it's the blind leading the blind. If you turn on the TV, where are the examples? Where's the Cosby Show now? You see what I'm saying? So this is why everything's a fucking free-for-all. And then what happens is people don't get what they want. And then that's when the finger pointing pulls out, and that's when you get that resentment. You see what I'm saying? And that's pretty much where we are right now as a culture. We're blaming the other gender, when really it's just the whole picture is fucked up.
Yeah, hey, ladies, at any point in time, feel free to chime in too as well. Like whether it's something you agree with, something you disagree with. I mean, realistically, this is for guys to get a realistically good idea of what to expect, because where we're coming from is we got feminism teaching females one aspect of dating, and then you have the red pill and all the others kind of guys who are teaching guys the other side of dating, which there's leading to this big disconnect. So if you guys anything from experience, because I really do think experience matters. I don't give a shit what all these other guys talking about, trying to beat people over the head with the stats. You can label stats all you want. Like I said before, there's a good book out there that can teach you how to lie with them. All right, all you got to do, personal experience do matter to a certain degree. Like people go through shit. I mean, like I tell people all the time, the real world is more of a fucking movie than an actual movie. So you never understand what kind of situations that people are put in. So at any point in time, please chime in. One question I do have is, how many of you guys, ladies, have you been with in terms of a guy that you thought was a leader, and then what were the signs that gave you that feeling that maybe that this may not be the case? Crystal or Jennifer, you guys can start. I don't want you guys.
I definitely have an example. You could go first.
No, you already started. It's okay.
Okay, so I've been with guys before where they'll act like everything that I want, right? A great leader, like someone who's dominant, to where I could be, you know, more submissive and I can trust them and I don't have to worry about them ever leaving. And then maybe a couple months later, they start getting cold, they start getting weird, they start acting different, and then they just exit. And I thought to myself, it's happened like 2, 3, or 4 times, and maybe not 4, but like maybe 2 or 3. And I'm just like, well, why? Like, what did I do? I'm literally acting the same. You said I could trust you. You were acting like I could trust you, and now all of a sudden you want to play switch up and be single. And I really think it stems down to maybe just things that I've experienced in my past, maybe with father issues, right? So maybe in my life when I was a child, I was daddy's little girl, right? So he was everything to me. And then he just changed one day. And that was due to a lot of different things. So I didn't have my father in my life anymore. So I think that subconsciously, either I attracted these men, I don't know, maybe I could get some insight from somebody else. Has anyone else ever experienced that they were with a man and they were everything to them and then they just changed? Why do you think that happens?
I don't think they necessarily change. I just think when you're dating somebody, it's best to take your time and be aware, because most times when you're dating someone, the first foot that they're putting out is their best foot. It's always best to just wait to see what the other leg looks like. Plus, you know, a lot of people don't really know what they want.
Oh my gosh, my phone
Right.
is,
I agree.
Like going back to his question, like when I do go out on dates with guys, how I could determine whether they're a leader or not is, you know, I just sit down and I listen to them talk. And I listen to them talk about their life. And I listen to the decisions that they make, because 9 times out of 10, I believe that if you're not making the best decisions for yourself, then right now you're not at the stage in your life where you can be a leader. Because before you can lead anybody else, you have to lead that, like you have to lead yourself down the right path. You have to be very disciplined. And when you're dating someone, I think like you're meeting a lot of new people. You don't know what's going on in the background of their life. So sometimes I never really take anything personal, like if someone switches up or if they ghost, because it's like I don't really know what they have going on their end. They probably just they don't have the time for that right now. They don't have the capacity for that right now, or that's just not where they are.
Leadership, well, I've had guys. Here's the thing: if you don't have something, that's fine. I like guys that'll like know what they want and go after it, or like have plans to do things. But there's guys, I don't like when people lie. You know what I mean? Or like they bullshit. I've had guys that are like, I have a car, and they don't. You know what I mean? Or they'll be like, I have a business, and they don't. And to me, that's not being a leader. Like if you don't have it, it's like fine. You know what I mean? But like guys, like some guys will try to like hype themselves up and like say more than what they truly have just to like make themselves sound better, when it's fine. Like if you don't have a car, just say that you don't have a car. Or like if you don't have that much money, say that you don't have much money. It's not that deep, but like show who you truly are. And if someone doesn't accept you for who you are, then like they're not for you. But like then when I actually like see who you truly are and I know that you lied, it's like, you know what I mean?
It's a little different because that trust factor is gone.
Yeah, what you're saying.
Because then there's
what you're saying sounds good in theory.
Like you're not. It shows that one, that you're not who you truly are, and then I can't trust you, and then it's like you're not a leader. This is like a whole lot.
I understand that, but what you're saying, it sounds good in theory, right? But it's not going to function in practice. That's like telling a woman just like go around wearing no makeup, and if guys aren't attracted to you, then they're not for you anyway. It's just not going to happen. So people are very social. They're going to need attention. They're going to need validation. And when the guys see certain guys getting that attention, getting the call back, getting the text back, getting a response in the DM, I'm sorry, they're gonna try to emulate that person because that person's getting the result they want. If you think a dude is just gonna sit around twiddling his thumbs, waiting for some girl to accept him as he is, good luck. Good luck, incel. That's where you're headed. And it's the same thing with females. Females aren't gonna do that either. Females are not gonna let all the trends pass them by. Okay, they're not gonna go all natural and wear no makeup. Okay, they're not gonna cover themselves up and not wear attention-seeking clothing. I mean, it's just not gonna happen. So, I'll give you an example. When you see all this plastic surgery that's going on nowadays, majority of guys aren't even into it. So
That's
why
facts.
are the girls doing it? The
That
girls are
shit's
doing
weird.
it because I'm gonna tell you why the girls are doing it. Women need to really start taking more accountability and understand that everybody's behavior, right, forms a collective, and that collective is going to create a narrative. That's just the way it is. When you look at females on IG and stuff like that, and they have this ridiculous amount of followers, ridiculous amount of comments and likes, dudes get the blame for that all day long. But guess what? Majority of that is other females. I had a female once tell me that it's men's fault that Kim Kardashian exists because if there wasn't a market for it, it wouldn't exist. And I'm like, you sound so fucking stupid because I don't know a guy that gives a fuck about a Kim Kardashian. I don't know a heterosexual male that gives two shits about a Kim Kardashian or a Cardi B or a Lizzo or any of these other women that are steering your ship into disaster. Okay? Women are steering each other to fucking failure. All the female celebrities, all the female artists and influencers and so on and so forth are the ones that are perpetrating these terrible habits and ideologies on other women, and men are not supporting them.
That is an excellent point, Ayindei. That's an excellent point. I want to get you guys' opinion on that too. Are women negatively influencing other women? Keep that in mind. But we want to get to Morgan because Morgan, are we good? Can you hear us? Are you still muted? Perfect. Yeah. So, all right. Let the question for you. All right. Did you answer the ideal relationship question yet? I don't think we got to you on that one.
No, I don't think so.
All right. Let the guys in the chat know.
I think
she said she started that. You
started that.
She already has it.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
She started that question.
Are you all caught up? All right. Did you have anything to add to what Ayindei said?
I was just gonna say that again. I feel like it's a society thing. Like it's not just women and it's not just men. It's like social media and the way that our society is, we're all dragging each other in these different directions. Like there's different trends every week, something's changing, like the whole nudity and the dressing for attention, like that was never such a thing. But now because there's so many people and they're all at our fingertips and everyone's kind of competing for attention and kind of competing to be the best in a fun way, like respectfully, but at the same time, it's real. Like the competition is real. Well, and
hold on, Megan. Megan, can I interject? Because I want you to understand something though. I want you to be clear because this is something that women don't get. They don't understand it. What you're saying and what you're describing, okay, is void of men. It's void of the influence of men. Women are competing the media with women. Women are competing with women for attention in general, and it's destroying them, right? Okay, women twerking. Women twerking is about women competing with other women and you're making fools of yourselves, right? Now, this is why this is an issue. Competition is primarily a male trait. That means we have all the experience in the universe with this because it is in our DNA. It's part of manhood. So we understand the rules of engagement when it comes to competition. Men competing with men is good for everyone. It's good for the society. It's good for the country. Whatever group of men competing with each other is just making each other better. Do you understand what I'm saying? And we understand the rules. We understand, okay, we're competing in business. We get it. We know what the fuck we're doing. We ain't paying attention to women when we're competing with business, but we understand that access to women is the prize. We understand that. So it can seem like we're competing for women, but we understand how to compartmentalize that competition. Whereas when women compete with each other for attention, the rules aren't understood. Okay, the goal isn't even understood. How do you keep score? Well, I don't know. I showed one nipple and she showed two. You don't even know what the hell you're doing. All you know is that she got 500 likes and you're trying to get 501, right? But what you're doing to get those 500 likes is not serving you or that other female, and it damn sure isn't a good look for what it's doing to men. So what I'm trying to say is that women do a lot of shit that competes with other women, and then they turn around and act like it's men putting that pressure on them. No, men put the pressure on us to look like this and to look like that. Stop. Other women put that pressure on you. Other women.
And then to add to your point too, Ayindei, because I think in terms of judging, and ladies, feel free to chime in on this too. But I believe that women harshly judge each other more than men do. So like when people talk about the fear of being called the S word or being called, the hoe or whatever, I think that's coming from other women mainly versus men. Because I would think about it, unless like you were as a man, unless I was if I was done wrong by a woman who was a hoe or something like that, I wouldn't feel that anger. Unless something was done to me personally, I wouldn't feel that. But it seems like most of the time it's like when I see the spite and the jealousy and the back and forth, it's from more women. What do you guys think?
So girls compete with other girls for looks, and guys compete with each other for what they can attain and wealth, because guys know that that's what it takes to obtain a woman and to lure in a woman, and girls know
that's what it takes to be valuable in society as a man. It's beyond women. To be valuable in general, that's what it takes to be valuable in general. For a man, you need to produce. We're judged based on what we produce. Doesn't matter if we're talking about women. Your mama will be ashamed of you. Your daddy be ashamed if you don't make something out of yourself. Okay, so for men, our entire value relies on us being useful to others, us being productive. So let's get that straight.
I agree with what Morgan said. I think it's like a full circle type of thing. I definitely think that us women, we could be very competitive and very harsh towards each other. But I also think that that's coming from men and women right now. Even when, let's say in elementary, middle school, high school, when somebody wants to insult a woman, the first thing that they're going to insult is a woman's beauty. So it's like we grow up essentially learning that our looks really it really matters to a lot of people. Even now, okay, we have women competing against women, but now, for example, on YouTube, I've been seeing a lot of content. What's your dress size? You're overweight. You're going to be alone for the rest of your life. You look like this. You look like that. That's why there's a lot of women now getting a lot of work done, because it's just...
They were made fun of when they were younger.
Yeah.
But you're misinterpreting that, though.
Yeah, I would say, because it would go towards like that. That's also I would say that goal falls in line more for choice than anything else.
Misinterpreting it, like as a woman and you're watching this. Say if you're like a woman, you're like probably not a dress size 2 or 4. You might not have the facial features that a man would say is attractive. You're gonna sit there. You're gonna listen to this information. You're gonna intake it. And they're being so harsh online, you might go back home. Okay, us women, we take things in and we get ready, we look in the mirror and we start picking everything apart. So it's like, it's easier to say love yourself, it's easier, but I think that it just takes like a break from social media, or just it takes everybody trying to change the narrative of the story, because I think everybody is adding to everybody's insecurity. Men to women, women to men, men to men, to women.
Go ahead, Ayindei, because I got something to add to that. I got something to add to that.
I'm sorry, man. I gotta jump in. I gotta counteract that, because this is the problem with women, man. I don't want to say problem. It's not a problem. It's just that women are extremely emotional. They interpret everything in the world of feelings. You say something to a woman, she doesn't repeat what you said. She repeats what she thinks you mean based on how it made her feel. All right. So I said what I said. How it made you feel? That's a you problem. That's a PP issue right there. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's not the issue on the person that said it. That's on you that it made you feel that way. So about the dress size, I'm going to defend that, because that has not been said on the internet to anyone, right? Other than in response to what that female thought she was entitled to. So I'm going to stop you right there, because there's nobody running around telling guys that you don't make enough money, you don't this and you don't that, if they're not trying to get something. Nobody's gonna go tell me, hey man, your ass is broke, you can't afford this car, if I wasn't trying to buy that car. So the women that are hearing that are the women that are overweight, they're out of shape, which means they're not taking care of themselves. Those aren't facial features like what you're talking about. It ain't what your mama and your daddy gave you. Okay, that's you not taking care of yourself and being competitive in the market, yet you have the nerve to expect, request, and feel entitled to a man that has more options. The point that's trying to be made is if you're not taking care of yourself, then hold on, let me finish. If you're not taking care of yourself, then how do you expect to attract this man? Because I guarantee you, I don't care what you look like, there's a man out there that will take your ass. You just don't want that man. Okay? So if that man ain't good enough for you, then how are you going to be butthurt when people are trying to tell you, but you're not good enough for the man you want either? I'm sorry. That's the way that works, right? Now, let me make my initial point when it comes to women competing. Women competing with each other with handbags and shit that men have no idea about. I know if I asked Duke about handbags, he don't know about handbags either. I don't know a knockoff handbag from a Louis Vuitton or this, or I don't even know the names of these designers. I don't care, right? So when you're competing for a man, you don't compete. You don't compete with all that trivial shit that only women are up on. You know how you compete for men? You compete for men based on how you carry yourself and how you interact with that male. What value are you bringing to that male? That man don't care what your clothes cost and all this other kind of stuff. If you are, let me tell you something. If a man cares about you, he values you, and he wants you in his life, he'll go buy you the shit that you feel that you need.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Like we would get you that stuff if we feel like it makes you happy.
Right.
Like if that it is, we'll get you to it. Whatever.
Right. So that's what I'm trying to tell you is that women are in a whole nother world when it comes to what they think attracts a mate. They don't know what attracts a mate. For men, it's a little bit simpler because we may not necessarily understand what attracts a mate, but we damn sure know what attracts a relationship. We understand that if you're providing, you can get that relationship. Whether or not that woman's actually genuinely attracted to you, that's a whole nother story. Only a very small percentage of the population will women actually genuinely be physically and sexually attracted to. But as far as who they will be in a relationship with, any motherfucker that got enough money can get a woman. And that's not the man's problem or fault. That's the fact that women will compromise the other aspects of attraction for stability. And that's that's y'all. That's how y'all wired. You get what I'm saying? There's very few women that are gonna pass up on stability, meaning that they know that roof gonna stay over their head, that steering wheel gonna stay in their hand, that food gonna stay in that fridge, that cell phone bill gonna be paid. There's very few women that are gonna pass up all of that reassurance and stability for a dude that they're genuinely passionate about. If they can get a guy that has both, hallelujah, you won the lottery. Okay? But in order to sustain a relationship, a man has to be able to provide stability. That's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Because she's gonna get out of that honeymoon phase at some point in time. We're just being good looking, being great company, being masculine, being dominant, being confident. All that stuff is gonna wear off if she has to worry about who's gonna pay the light bill next month. So
that's facts.
It is what it is.
What do you have to add? Go ahead. No, I was gonna ask Amanda. I was gonna say, what do you got to add to that? But go finish your point. Finish your point, Ayindei.
Nah, so I just wanted to say that goes hand in hand with men being predisposed to women being beautiful and attractive. We can't help that either.
I don't think that money is everything, but I mean there has to be some sort of stability. I mean, I do believe that there needs to, I think that you need to work as a team. But if something were to happen to me where I couldn't work, you know what I mean? You need to be able to be there for me.
Yeah, it's called children, it's called pregnancy.
Yeah. But that goes into wouldn't you say, Amanda, like mate selection? Then make sure you're properly selecting the right man that you know is gonna be there for you. Because I feel like a lot of times now we're selecting dudes just based off of status and those things that check the boxes, but we're not really selecting based off of character and what's gonna be real or what's gonna be fake. So like kind of with Jennifer and Morgan, I think Amanda, you said yourself, and Crystal, you've also had that experience. You're dealing with guys that they check all these boxes, but they're fucking dry as hell. They're empty.